The Galaxy Watch 3 seems to be the right choice if you're looking for style, durability and advanced features in each and every moment of your day. Could be the best smartwatch ever made. Let's inspect! Welcome, Tech4O channel, my name is Michael. I'm so happy to see you here. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing it. My other hand is busy and this hand is holding the phone, but we're already testing the Galaxy Watch 3. And if you're wondering why everything sounds so weirdly, it's because I'm actually using the recording I'm doing right now with this voice memo app on the Galaxy Watch 3. If you've ever wondered how the others are hearing you and what's the audio quality of this embedded microphone, that's how it sounds like. Yes, there is such a feature, and it is part of the many fantastic apps that you can run on that technological masterpiece by Samsung. The only other smartwatch which is worth placing side by side with it is of course the Apple Watch, but with a few minor exceptions, it looks like the Galaxy Watch 3 is superior in many ways, and I'm so eager to show you more of its qualities. It's definitely not cheap, starting at around $400 and packing a few revisions. Most affordable is the 41mm option, then for some $10 to $20 more you can order the 45mm version with Wi-Fi only, and you can also go for the more premium edition with LTE. You're gonna have to pay more than $450 unless there are some discounts. It is quite interesting to know that the original Galaxy Watch, which is already 2 years old, still costs around $300. If we look at the current pricing of the 2 generations older Apple Watches, for instance, they seem to go down in price much quicker. So it looks like there's something special about these Samsung wearables, and while I was overall not too impressed with the Galaxy Active 2, this one felt a bit different. Sure, we can put the Galaxy Watch 3 side by side with a bunch of other devices. The Huawei Watch GT2 is also a great smartwatch, but not that much into the truly smart features. The ecosystem of the Galaxy Watches is already quite advanced about apps. Perhaps not as good as Play Store, but seems to be getting there. Unboxing feels premium. This is how the box of the black 45mm version without LTE looks like. The version supporting LTE has eSIM, meaning that you don't have to put physically any SIM cards. It's hardware inside the watch that gets activated and utilized by the provider you choose, and better check whether and how that is supported in your country if you prefer to use it. If you don't need independent data plan or the need to make calls without your smartphone being used, the Wi-Fi edition may be more than enough. Here's the watch itself. I have to admit that it looks good, but not too spectacular. The Active 2 looks a lot classier. If you already think the bezel is too thick, hang on for a moment and you're gonna find out it's actually quite awesome. 2 buttons on the side, the sensors on the bottom, and a nice genuine leather strap. It's the first leather strap I've used for that long, and so far I tend to like it a lot. I never thought these words will come out of my mouth, but it even felt better than my favorite silicone bands. Anyhow, you can change it with any other type of band that you like with 22mm width. If you want to know about the geeky stuff, here are the most important specs, and after highlighting them, we're going to talk about how they convert into real-life experience. 1.4-inch fantastic AMOLED display, which can put to shame any other smartwatch in terms of visibility, and is covered with Gorilla DX glass. All that is a bit smaller for the 41mm edition. 340 mAh battery, around 45 grams weight, 50-meter waterproof, ECG certified, blood pressure monitoring, Exynos 9110 chipset with dual-core CPU, 1GB RAM, 8GB storage, speaker and microphone, Bluetooth 5, GPS, the optional eSIM, and again, make sure to make up your mind prior to purchasing the watch. There are a few different color variations which will suit anyone's style and preferences. terms of hardware, this seems to be the best that you can find at the moment from a smartwatch. Samsung seem to have surpassed Qualcomm in wearable processing performance, and we know that they offer the best AMOLED displays since years. The only big question is how it all works with the software layer, so let's check that out. The rotating bezel comes back into scope, and it's a key feature here, and in my opinion, the most useful and brilliant idea for easy navigation because it eliminates the issues caused by cold weather, wet fingers, and so on. We're going to put this aside for a moment and know that if you've ever used the Galaxy Watch 2 Active, it's going to feel familiar. Swiping actions, swipe down to get the quick toggles. They can be so many here. You can see I'm scrolling between them. You can place almost anything that you want and need. Swipe left to get to the notifications. And before you ask me, yeah, you can type. Not only you can type, you can speak up, or you can draw the characters if the virtual keyboard feels too small. It does support emojis, predefined answers, and so on. The overall experience is as advanced as it could get with a smartwatch these days. However, Samsung seem to disagree with the belief that swiping left is an easy gesture for going back, and the only way to do that is using this top button, which at the beginning is a little confusing and annoying. The bottom button opens the app drawer. Like everything else on the watch, it is configurable, but I'm pretty sure you will like the default behavior because of this rotating bezel. So simple and so powerful. The dot indicates the highlighted app, and its name appears in the center of the screen. Similarly, using the bezel you can switch between the main widgets, which by default are calendar, music control, sports, weather forecast and sleeping. On top of that, Tizen OS, as the operating system is called, is supporting multitasking. So yeah, you can listen and control music while you're doing sports and so on. And there are more features to praise. Sure, it's not only the speaker. There also is the options to add extra Bluetooth devices, like wireless earbuds. Luckily, we're not limited to Galaxy Buds only. If you drill down in the settings, there are a lot more features to adjust, and customizations are possible in almost any way that you can imagine. Samsung have even thought about a mode for swimming so that the water doesn't cause any ghost touches. Because I like practicing sports from time to time, the double press action on the apps button is configured to launch a sport app. And sure, you can customize each one of these sports, choose the laps, lengths, and so on. And there's automatic summary for your activity after a certain amount of time, which is being announced via the speaker. It can be pretty useful for hikers or runners. In terms of sports features, it's really great, but doesn't seem to offer many new things as compared to the last year's Active 2 edition. The most important questions, ECG and blood pressure, are currently sections I can't show at all even a month after the release of the device. Samsung promised these features to eventually appear through software updates, but the real question is whether non-Samsung users will be able to take advantage of all that. Currently, this can be done using another app, the Samsung Health Monitoring app, which happens to be the 5th different app you need to run in order to fully cover the watch features. And it gets even worse. Looks like the app will be compatible with certain devices only. So far I've seen Galaxy S9, 10 and 20 users succeeding using it, and owners of other phones brands are probably not going to be able to use it. Ever wondered why the Apple Watch series are so successful? Maybe the user experience is the key. At the moment, I can only read through the forum threads and sympathize to these dedicated developers that managed to trick the Galaxy Watch 3 to at least enable blood pressure measuring, which based on people's feedback tends to be pretty accurate. If we put the rant about these limitations aside, measuring your vitals is something that the Galaxy Watch 3 can do exceptionally well. Go out for a walk, and it will automatically detect it and start tracking it. Stop the activity, it also stops. Yeah, I managed to trick it that I'm doing sports just by sitting down and moving my hand in the air, but I'm sure that Samsung will further fine-tune that detection. Sleep tracking is also great. While other smartwatch makers are happy with implementation of nap detection, the Galaxy Watch can sense when you're sleeping during the whole day. Basic example, that's where I got sick and fell asleep, and tracking was pretty accurate. Heart rate is also there, and if you run continuous HR tracking, it won't impact the battery life too severely. Speaking of battery endurance, I was easily getting 2-day cycles, sometimes reaching up to 3 days with the wrist gestures off and always on option disabled. But even with everything being set to on and a lot of texting, apps, gaming, you can for sure count on at least a day of battery life. For the charging, And that's another funny part of the story. Oh boy, I forgot the wireless charger at home during the vacation. Third-party chargers are likely to not work unless they are, you guessed it right, Samsung made. My phone supports QI reverse charging, and you notice that nothing happens. Correct, you can't use reverse wireless charging of OnePlus 8 Pro to juice up a Galaxy Watch. I was desperate to find an alternative, and after trying like 5 different QI chargers, here's one that worked. I had to add some paper layer between the charger and the watch in order to enable the charging, and keep everything at low temperatures during the process, because even if you manage to get it working, it will overheat so quickly and charging is going to stop. So if you ever lose your charger and you have no other way, put the watch in the fridge for 10 minutes and then keep it inside the fridge, which is in my case giving me around 15% charge before it was overheating again. Good news for Galaxy S9, S10 and 20 users. If your phone supports reverse charging, it's going to work fine with the Galaxy Watch 3. In this video, I won't be able to show you the Samsung Pay either. Being based in Bulgaria myself, guess I'm living in one of these countries where the feature is about to be supported. Bixby works flawlessly though, but from all the AI assistants, if we compare it with Siri, Alexa, Google, Bixby seems to be the solution with the least capabilities. But if you like it a lot, even better, it's there and it's going to serve you well. So are many of the other apps that you can use. The Tizen platform is already quite good, but the Galaxy Store won't offer the variety of apps that you may get from Play Store. No Google Maps, no YouTube, no Google Pay. So, at the end, the Galaxy Watch 3 leaves this bitter-sweet taste. Sweet because the hardware is simply brilliant. The build quality is up to par with the expectations from a premium smartwatch, and at the first sight, it ticks all the boxes for what you need from a smart wearable companion. But digging deeper, you're going to discover a lot of issues and your frustration may grow if you want all the features to be working with the flagship non-Samsung phone. Weirdly, although quite advanced already, the software lacks basic functions such as configurable automatic night mode. While battery drain seems to no longer be the case on the smartphone side, I still can't comprehend why Samsung forced you to install 4 different apps in order to run just a smartwatch. Oh, pardon me, the apps are already 5 if we count the ECG app, if or when it becomes available. While hardware is superior to Apple Watch series, and the rotating bezel concept is in my opinion the best thing that happened to the smartwatch world ever, I believe the software weaknesses do not justify the steep price, at least not at this point. But putting that aside, this is by far the best non-Apple true smartwatch, and the good news is that all the weaknesses are down to the software. And might be that the Galaxy Watch 3 is the smartwatch you've been always dreaming about and looking for, especially if you're a Samsung fanboy. So what do you think? Is it crazy to spend that much money on a not too convincing from software perspective smartwatch? Or the fantastic hardware justifies it all? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to support the channel by at least subscribing. If all that was useful, please hit the like, helps a lot, and thanks in advance for being so kind. That's all for today. I'm Michael, and the last thing to do is to wish you a fantastic day. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.